Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the workshop. And thank you for coming. If you don't know me, it is, this slide is my background. I am a CPA and financial advisor, and my office is in Sutton, Connecticut, and I also have an office in New York. So I always do a lot of workshops, and besides helping clients to find the best tax planning strategy, I also do a lot of financial planning. So let's do a quick quiz. Who worry about retirement? Anybody? You can open your camera, or you can open your speaker. And anyone worry about retirement? Probably a lot of people think about it, right? So if you have 10, 15 years, and if you're not start thinking about it, and I think it's about time, right? So retirement is by choice, right? You can have a very good plan, but you probably still can end up here. But if you have no plan, and you will probably have to work your rest of your life, and you still, not able to fully retire. But at least if you plan and you have a choice, right? So when the market goes good and when the market goes bad, and if you have plan and you have options to adjust. So this is a little bit about financial planning. As I said at the beginning, I do a lot of planning for people who are thinking about, my family needs a plan. I have been raising kids for a while, but now it's about time for me to have a plan for myself, right? So this is not about like, oh, I need to have a lot of money to retire. It is all about a peace of mind, how to live a quality life when you retire. Okay, so let's talk about the financial risk for retirement. A lot of people say, okay, I want to retire, I plan to retire, but the market crashed. So I end up cannot retire. I end up had to postpone my retirement. This is very true because I have a client who is a professor in the University of New York in upstate New York. He's 73. So going into IMD, anybody knows about IMD? It's a required minimum distribution for your retirement accounts, right? So he wants to retire. That was last year. Remember last year, we have a lot of the beginning of this year, like in March, we have a lot of political things going on. So tariff, it's in the air, so the market ups and down a lot. So he was very worried, he's going to retire because you know what? Let's look at this chart. What is a return sequence of return risk? When you retire, when you start drawing money, when are you going to retire? It's very important, right? So when you retire, when the market is going up, chances after 25 years, you still have some money left. But if the market going down after you retire, even though you retire 5 years later than investor A, but after 20 years, you're running out of money. Because once you retire, you're taking retirement income from your account and the market crash, and your retirement account will never recover. So this is very important. So can you pick a good market to retire? And yes, of course, right? So as good as you can pick is today, right? But tomorrow we never know. So some people saying, oh, we're going to have a good year, but next year crash. So it all happens, over and over again in history. We can see that. So how we are going to pick the best day? It is by planning. So if talk about planning, we can talk about the retirement challenge, what we are facing. Okay. First of all, a lot of people think, oh, I retire, I don't have to pay a lot of taxes. Anybody think about this way? When you retire, you don't have to pay a lot of taxes. You can shout out, okay, if you want to respond. And this is a very interactive class. So obviously, if you think you retire, you don't pay a lot of taxes, really probably not true, because where's your retirement income from? It's from 401k, it's from Social Security, pensions, IRA, those are all taxable accounts, right? So, and then on the other side, you lose all your deductions, right? Your kids were grown, you don't have any kids, you don't have the child's credit. So you lose a lot of deductions, right? The house pay off, right? So when you retire, your money is sitting in banks. Most of the retirees I talk to, they are scared of the market. So sitting in bank, when your money is sitting in bank, earning 3% is probably not going to outpace inflation. And you have a growth problems. What's that mean? It's because 20 years down the road, your money from $10 now is probably shrink it to $5. So your buying power is going down if you just put it in the bank. So you need to put it in a place that actually have sufficient growth, outpaced inflation, and at the same time, it's relatively safe. Right, we talk about safety. So we all know you put it in the stock market, yes, it grows very nicely, but at the end, market crash and you're down with it, right? So this when you have a higher return and the risk is higher. So that is hand in hand. So how are we going to balance the risk and the growth? That is through planning. And another thing is lifetime income. A lot of people, realize that technology advance, medical advance at this time, you probably outlive your parents, right? So the generations. Like if your parents live 80 and you have a very good chance to live to 95. So what about the extra 15 years? How are you going to support your retirement another 15 years? So this is bother a lot of people. I talk to a lot of my clients. The number one things that bother them, it is they don't know if they have enough money. So tonight I'm going to address this issue. Okay. So now after I talk about all those challenges, what is the number one risk for retirement? Anybody? Can you shout out? You shout out, you get points. Okay, what is the number one risk? Is it market risk? Is it tax? Okay, you guys are too shy. All right. The number one risk is we are living much longer. We are living longer and longer. So longevity is good things only if you have money. So in the past, we had pension. Now we don't have, majority of us don't have pensions. A lot of people don't even know what is pension. Right? So it all depends on our personal savings through 401ks and IRA, those accounts. And hopefully we still have Social Security. We all know that just Social Security and IRA possibly not going to last to the end. Now, what are we going to do? Right? So let's, first of all, before we address that, let's see how we're going to spend down our retirement. When you retire, let's say 67, right? This green, it is your 401k, your IRA, your withdrawable retirement assets. So you use those. And when you reach retirement age, full retirement age, you're starting your Social Security. This is the blue one. So eventually, after probably 10, 12 years, your Social Security, your 401k IRA, a lot of people are already spent down. And at this time, all left is Social Security. So we know that, Social Security, even though you fully funded your Social Security, you work 35 years, and you're making good money, you probably full retirement age, you get close to $3,800. Okay, so hopefully Social Security will be there when you still when you're in retirement or the end. That is our best wish. But if not, and that's another problem. So let's say Social Security will be there, but you're still short a lot because it's number one is inflation, and Social Security has COLA, cost of living adjustment, but it's way behind inflation because inflation is about 4 to 6%. COLA is probably 2, and hopefully we get a little bit more, 3. The highest we can get for 1 year is about 5, and that's it. That's it. Okay, so Social Security will not beat inflation. And again, even though you only have Social Security, two two income families, and both the husband and wife work a very good job, higher income, and the maximum you can put it together probably $7,000 a month, right? Okay, so if one spouse died, and then Social Security, your two income family will get cut half. Okay, so let's say if you're going to retire. So I want to change the slides, but let's do some Chinese there. Now you learn some Chinese too, right? So today I retire. So how much money I will need? All right. So if you have Social Security, two Social Security, and you have some other incomes, let's say, you come up with about 100K. It's about right for today's money, because a lot of people say, oh, when I retire, I don't have place to spend money, but you still have to pay taxes. You still have to live. You still have to eat. You still need to keep a car and maybe keep a car and paying tax on the cell phone, right? And you still need to pay utilities. And the biggest expense are tax and your medical. A lot of people say, I have Medicare. So Medicare is only Plan A. It only pay for hospital stay. So if you make some income, you need to co-pay your medical Plan B and Medigap. Okay. So for the uncover part, and I just heard like somebody told me Medicare doesn't even cover my medical routine exam. I said, wow, that's quite expensive. It depends on, what are you going to test? All right. So hang on just 1 second. Okay. I think I changed the slides. I don't know why it still showed up in Chinese. I just changed it this morning, but I probably didn't save it. Let me see, it's right here. Sorry. I gotta stop sharing, and let me move my slides. Okay, sorry about that. The slide doesn't move. All right. Okay, so when we talk about we we just talk about how much money we need when we retire, right? So we haven't even figured into inflation and tax, right? So this is just today's money, 100K a month. A lot of people say, oh, probably I don't need that much money, but this is only the basic, right? So let's take a look at, for instance, if you have a retirement account, right? So you're working your whole life and and your spouse are working. So together you have a total 2 million retirement assets. You're taking 5% of that, right? And the rest of them invested in the market, 100%. This is taking the data from 2000. This is S&P 500. So $2 million, you're taking 5% down. But at the end, the rest of them are invested in the market, right? So at the end, by if you're 20 years later, you're pretty much out of money. All right. So if you put it a little bit more conservative, you don't put it in the market because majority of the retirees don't put it in the market because it's actually a lot of risk when you totally in the market. So majority of the retirees put their assets into bonds or into bank accounts. So can you see my slides?
Yeah, we can see. So what is LTC?
Okay, hang on. I'm going there. Okay.
Oh,
so
sorry.
LTC is long-term care. If you ever check a long-term care, you need to hire somebody, let's say, need to hire somebody to take care of you, and you will be totally out of money the next year. This is the long-term care. LTC is long-term care. Tonight, I'm not going to talk about long-term care, how to plan for it. It is a very expensive. The other day, somebody is asking me, oh, I need to hire somebody to take care of my mom. And so I give her an agency. So the agency is in Connecticut. So she called the agency is charging $55 an hour. Okay, this is a in-home care. So I'm not going to talk about long-term care just yet. Maybe next week, if I have time, I will talk about it. I will set up another workshop on it. Okay. So that comes to our some of our research. This is done actually by Fidelity. If you have a retirement account, it doesn't matter it's 1 million, 2 million, or 500,000. As long as you draw 10%, and the rest of them are staying half in stock market and half in bonds. And if you're taking 10% of whatever you have, 9 years, you are going to be totally out the money. If you take 5%, 24th year. So look at this example. This is 100% in the stock market. Okay, it's not 50%. So 20 years, you're out of money. So this is S&P 500. Okay, so for instance, if you have $1 million retirement account, you're taking 5%, this is $50,000 a year. You're out of money 24 years. If you have 2 million of retirement accounts, if you're taking 100K, which is also 5%, and you're out of money in 24 years, or maybe shorter. Right. So why I'm saying retirement planning is important. A lot of people are still saying, okay, now I'm going to retire. My money is got to grow. Yes, we all know that your money has to grow. So if we talk about investment growing, we seek for the highest interest rate, and also your risk is highest, right? So it's like climbing the mountain. You're going up and the risk is coming with you. Now, if we are using the same strategy as climbing mountains, and we call it accumulation, you're trying to accumulate the money for retirement, if you're using the same strategy, only chasing the return and forget about your risk, and you'll probably, when you fall, it falls really hard. Okay, so when you come down the mountain, you need to use different strategy and different tools. Otherwise, if you're using the climbing tool to descend the mountain, you are going to fall pretty hard. Okay, so if you are, there's a lot of investors there and they said, okay, I have a financial advisor, who put me in this fund and that fund. But how often do your financial advisor review your situation? So does he know you are going to retire in the next 5 years, or suddenly you change your mind and say, I'm going to retire next year? So this is about climbing and descending, and accumulation and decumulation of your income, of your assets. Okay, so it's different strategy. Now, the first 5 years of your retirement and the 5 years before you retire, these are the very crucial periods, very crucial period that you really, really need to sit down and do some planning. Because remember that sequence of sequence returns risk, right? So if you are retiring and the market is coming down in the next 5 years, you will be out of money. I call it like the double gravity. So you're taking money out and the market is coming down. So it's double gravity, and it damages your retirement assets account pretty badly, and it can never get it back. Okay. So let's simplify it. After we look at what we need for our retirement, I can put it into something like what we need that we must address. What we need food after we retire. We need housing, transportation, medical, and paying taxes. Right? These are the essentials. It doesn't matter you are healthy or not healthy, sitting in the hospital or sitting at home, you still need to pay these. So you must have a guaranteed income that comes in, it's there to take care of your basic needs, right? Where these incomes from? If you have pension, that's the best. Pension pays lifetime income. Like Social Security, if you have Social Security and your Social Security is very high, so I just said, the highest you can get is $3,000 to $4,000. Okay, and these will be your lifetime income, and you for sure every month you have a paycheck and take care of that. So if you still short to cover your basic needs, you need to think about another source of a lifetime income. We call it annuity. Okay, annuity is in simple, it's a self-funded pension. Since your company does not provide you pension anymore, so now you have a self-funded pension, and you contributed to it and are getting some tax credits from the government. You participate in the market growth, but you disconnected with the market risk and you get lifetime income. Somebody is asking, what is LTC? Here's LTC, long-term care. When you're getting old, you definitely have some illness, you definitely need some help. It's very important, and it's very expensive that you take care of that also. So I'm not going to talk about it in this class, but next class we're going to talk about it. So after you take care of the basic and your long-term care, whatever money left over, it's you freely to use it at your will, right? So you can go travel around the world, you can do anything, but taking care of the basic guarantee, hopefully you have a good peace of mind, and you have a good night's sleep when you retire. Okay. So let me go back to my what is annuity? So annuity, it is a guaranteed lifetime income that you transfer the market risk to the insurance company. In return, they guarantee gives you lifetime income for your retirement. It doesn't matter if the market crash or not. Okay. All right, Chris time. You're thinking about retiring at 67. If there's a market crash, what are you going to happen? What's going to happen? Are you going to retire or are you going to continue to work? What do you think?
Going work.
Going to work, right? So if you
Mhm.
still can, yeah, definitely, right? But what about if you're lay off or you're sick and you're at the point that you have to retire? So when the market crash, we still need to retire, right? So the good thing is if we plan, we have choice. I can maybe retire, or I can, if I still can work, and then go back to work. So planning is actually to give you more choice down the road. Peace of mind and good choice, right? So the return sequence, why it is so important? I found this slide is actually pretty good, and I want to, this is very important, so I want to, demonstrate it again. So you got $1 million and taking $50,000 distribution for retirement income. If the market is up, which is this line, and then the market is down. At the end, after 21 years, you still probably have some money left, right? So what about if it's down market to start with, like this line, you're taking the same amount of money, look at your portfolio. At the end of 21 year, you totally out of money. Okay, so very important. So you just learn longevity risk. The second risk is very important, the sequence of return, the timing of the market, right? But of course, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know how to time the market. And then I will teach you how you're going to, plan around the market. You can't time the market, but you can plan around the market, right? So why people put money in CD? Anybody?
Save.
Save, right? So when the market crash, I still have the money. So why people don't put money in the CD?
The return is less.
Return is less, and so they beat the market risk, but the return is less. So inflation will eat you up, right? Can your CD support your whole life? Possibly
Yes.
not, right? Because inflation, right? Now, what about Social Security? Social Security cannot beat inflation, but they can beat longevity. So hopefully when you leave and Social Security will pay. And if the market crash, will you get Social Security check? Yes.
Yes.
That is nice, right? What about pension? When the market crash, you still get a pension check. And as long as you leave, you got a check. So, but inflation, pension will adjust to it a little bit, not a lot, but at least a little bit. Let's look at 401k. When the market crashed, you probably half of them is gone when you wake up like 2008. Longevity, we just demonstrate, really depends on when you're going to retire and also how's the market perform, right? And if you're very careful to plan the timing, still after 24 years, if you take 5% and your money will be gone. So what is left? We talk about annuity. Annuity is like pension. You can beat the market risk, control the market risk, as long as you leave, you get a paycheck and you got some inflation adjustment. Okay, so how's that work? If you have 401k, IRA, all these retirement accounts, you can allocate part of that. It's called rolled over to a self-funded pension. We call it annuity. And if you have cash, you also can put into an annuity account and let it grow. When you retire, you get lifetime income. Okay, so some people will say, what about if I don't live long enough? I only take a couple years of income and I'm gone. There is a small that benefit, whatever money you left there, it's going to go to your beneficiary. So you won't lose that money because you set up annuity account. Okay. The most important thing, doesn't matter the market crash or what, you're going to get a lifetime income guarantee. Okay. So it's very important. I put it in red. You disconnected your retirement account with market risk. And at the same time, you still have growth. And another key word is guaranteed lifetime income. Okay. So how that work? Two concepts. One annuity, two concepts. One is called accumulation phase. One is distribution phase. In accumulation phase, there are two values, two phase and two value. One is called pension value. Pension value is the company gives you a guaranteed return. Guaranteed return, some of them, okay? Or some of them are just linked with index and gives you a lowest, a bottom protection. All right. If the market crash, you are not going to crash through to negative territory. And another value is called cash value. It is the actual market growth because it's linked with index. Let's say it's linked with S&P. If S&P up and down, and that is your cash value. Okay. So, but also your cash is protected for the bottom, even though it's down and you're still protected. Now, this two value, right? So remember, one is called pension value. We call it guaranteed income base. Different company call it different term, but one is pension value. One is cash value. When you distribute, now you're going to take your pension value times and distribution percentage. Let's say your $100,000, we put it in there. Certain years later, let's say 10 years later, it grows to 300,000. So 300,000 is your pension value right here. And then times for a distribution rate, let's say 5%, and you'll get $15,000 a year guaranteed. Okay. So this is the concept. I would demonstrate later. Okay. So because somebody guarantee your bottom, your floor. So when you invest, when you pick the index, you can invest, you dare to invest because somebody guaranteed to give you lifetime income. When you retire, you dare to spend. Okay. So it will give you, more freedom, especially when you retire. And that's worry. Okay. All right. So, sorry. I'm going to demonstrate a one company. Okay, this company is called Nationwide. Nationwide currently has a very popular guaranteed incomes fixed income index annuity. Okay, so currently, if you open an account, you got 30% bonus. So you put 100K there, your pension value grows to 130 day one. Number two, they guarantee for 12 years growth, compounded 9.5% on top of the 30. Number three, you guarantee have a lifetime income. Okay, so 3 guarantees. How's that work? This is the 55 years old. Put in 100K day one. 100K becomes 130. This is pension value, right? Even though day one, maybe the market crash, or your cash value is still 100K, never through the bottom, right? But your pension value already grow to 130 because 30% bonus. And based on the feature, 9.5% guarantee on top of that for 12 years. So when he's 67, 12 years, he decided to retire. So he's going to take lifetime income every year, $18,000 minimum. Okay, so as long as he lives, he will get at least 18,232. Now, if he use 401k roll over into this account, it's going to be taxed as income, like 401k. If it's an IRA, traditional IRA account, it's going to tax as income, like traditional IRA. If it's a cash and the principal, $100,000, is not going to be taxable. Everything above that is going to be taxed as income. Okay, so you got the tax defer when you accumulation stage, you don't have to pay any taxes. Okay, this is one. So if the market drop, it doesn't matter, you get 9.5. If the market more than 9.5, you actually get a bump up. Mirror the market growth. So, for instance, putting it that person. So, here's another example. Okay, 100K, and put it in there for 12 years. So if he wants to take income at 63, for this product you can take income at the next year. You don't have to wait 10 or 12 years. Of course, if you wait every year, you get 9.5. If you don't wait, I want to get money. I want to spend it now. So let's say if he wants to wait the full 12 years, he got 18,232. If he doesn't want to wait, he wants to retire at 63, he got 12,682 a year. This is minimum. Now, once he get this, your 9.5% will stop grow. Will only grow index, right? The index is less than 9%, and you will be less than 9%. It's like Social Security. If he doesn't want to take income and wait a couple of years, let's say 73, he decides to take income, so he can get more, 23,293, which is always his income benefit base. This is pension value times a distribution rate. The older he wants his income, the higher the percentage, because it's going to pay lifetime. Obviously, if he waits a couple more years, he's going to get a couple years less, right? So that's why he gets compensated with a higher points, a higher distribution percentage. Okay. So these are the examples. Also, salary. This is Sarah, 55 years old, female, put 100K. If Sarah decide to wait 10 years and she wants to take income, so it's 9,480. So easy lifetime income payout percentage is actually 7.02. He waits to 75, he can get 20,973. Okay. If the market has no growth, let's say market crash, meaning, no growth or zero growth, it doesn't matter. It's guaranteed. Your money put in 100K, you're going to guarantee get 18,000. Every year the market crash doesn't matter to you. You're totally disconnected with the market risk. Okay, so this is the beauty of this kind of plan, that you don't have to worry. This is the money it's going to come to you as paycheck every single month. In retirement, there's a phrase. It's not how much you have, it's how much cash flow you have. Okay, do you have enough cash flow for your retirement? It's not, do you have enough assets for your retirement? Okay. Can you hear the difference? We can talk about it later, okay? Now, this is new high, and the good thing is if you live in New York, you can come to Connecticut to open the account. This is not available in New York, but it's approved to sell to New Yorkers if they come to Connecticut. My office is in Darien, and any New Yorkers here, and you can talk to me. Another one is a company I want to show you is Allianz. This company, you have to stay in the program for 10 years. This is for younger people who think about putting money in annuity, because these are all very, very good company, top companies, and rated in A+, A1, and AAA, and AA, okay? But this company, the program you have, this program you have to stay for 10 years. But currently, they give a bonus of 47%. This will change, right? When I'm talking, it's probably already changed. A multiply 1.5. Okay, so how's that work? Let's say if you have these indexes to choose from: BlackRock, S&P Future, S&P Index, Bloomberg, all these indexes. Let's say if you have the index grow 4.5, you got a 1.5% multiply. I'm sorry, I'll do it the other way. Oops. If the index grow at 3 and you're gonna multiply of 1.5, so your first year's interest is 4.5. So you always get the multiply 1.5. So, but if it's the market crash or zero, you will have no income. Okay, so third year 2.5, and you have a bonus of 1.25, and you total 2.75. Okay, so it's always a 150% of your interest, These are the payout rates. So this is a very good product for people who are, I will say, probably younger than 55. You're comfortably, you have 10 years, you want to wait for 10 years. And this is a very, you got more indexes to choose from, and you got multiplier, it's a very good accumulation annuity. So what about for some people who wants to retire next year? I have someone who is 64. He wants to retire 65. So I did this one for him. So currently, this company provides, okay, he puts the 600K there. So if he wants to retire next year at 65, so he guaranteed get 48,000 a year. Guaranteed withdrawal 48,497. Now, this one is also has long-term care riders there. If he triggers long-term care, his payment will be double, until he totally run out of his $600,000. It will return to single payment. So if you ever trigger long-term care in this program, it will actually double your payment. Now, the other companies that I was talking about, Allianz has that option, but Nationwide does not have that option. So this is for people who planned very late and only have 1 year to retire, but want to have some guaranteed lifetime income. This is a good plan to go. Rather than put it on a CD, and this one you'll have a lifetime income of 48,000. So probably less than 10 years, you're done with your 600K. All right. But if you take a long-term care, they pay you twice. Okay. A lot of people say annuity is good if you live longer. That is for true. That is actually true because in living longer, you have longevity credits, right? So annuity, if you live longer, a lot of people actually, a lot of people buys in annuity, they tend to live longer because they worry less, What about if I died early? So usually, I just mentioned it briefly. Normally, if this person dies before he fully collect his money, so whatever left there, remember the cash value, right? Still growing. So whatever the cash value, usually minus your distribution, whatever left, that amount will return to your family. Okay, so it will not just disappear. And another one, a lot of people ask me how to choose any annuity. Okay, so you need to sit down, I had to figure it out, we need to do some analysis, how much retirement assets you already have, and what category you put it in. Are they all in 401k, or are they all in real estate? Or are some of them are in IRA, or some of them are in bonds, or a lot of them are in bonds, or a lot of them are in CD. So I need to know where they are. And I want to find out how many years are you going to retire? Are you going to retire tomorrow? Are you going to retire 10 years down the road? And when are you going to need the money? Some people will say, I will retire next year, but I'm going to spend my 401k first. So that means you don't need the annuity right away. So we got everyone's situation is different. That's why it's important to do a customized plan. So I need to know, when are you going to need that money? And then we can decide what plan we're going to choose. How many years your retirement will last? This is a tough one. I said, a lot of people say, I have a longevity gene. So my parents lived to 90. So given today's technology, you probably need to plan to 100 at least, right? So that is also a family by family. Now, how much lifetime income you need? We talk about 100K, so it's just a very ballpark number. It's a very roughly estimate. So if you live in Fairfield County or New York City, it's totally different than living in maybe Florida or Arkansas, right? So I really need to know where you're going to retire, right? And then we can sit down and see what is available in the market. I have a tool I can represent the entire United States annuity company, besides a couple of the other, like a Mass Mutual, those I cannot. So I can always find a good one for you. Okay, a good one means a one that fits your needs. There's no best product. but only the fittest product we can get, okay? So can I use my annuity to take care of my long-term care? Some company will allow you because you take the double payment, right? So that is in the form of long-term care when you need the money the most. What is that long-term care? So in the annuity contract, it defined as, okay, where do I see it? It defines as you are confined in a nursing home, or maybe you have some illness that you require somebody to take care of your two of your daily activities like dressing or going to the bathroom or eating or bathing or going to the toilet. So two of the activity you cannot perform by yourself. And that is considered you need long-term care. Some of the annuity company is going to pay double the payment. Okay. So now you ask annuity is annuity a bad thing or is annuity a good thing? Is annuity for me? This is the more important. It's annuity for me. So you can ask yourself, are you worrying about your money is not going to last to the end? Or, you wake up in the middle and have cold sweats, right? So, and you worry about your money, don't know whether you can last to the end. Or maybe you said, okay, I will just have to work. I will work until I drop. And that is an option. But what about if you don't have that option? You're too sick to work. So at least through some planning, you have some options. You can go back to work, of course, but what about if you don't want to or you can't, right? Okay, so I'm gonna give you some time to ask question. This is my information. If you want to keep in touch with me, this is my WeChat. My email and my office is in Darien. You can also text to my cell phone, okay? This is my cell phone. Text me and I respond very fast. Usually you call me, I probably won't pick up the call. It's sent to my voicemail, okay? So let me turn off the recording so you can ask questions.